Wah, wah, wee, wah. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I just saw a glimpse of the window before I started to film. It looks like it's 10 p.m. outside and it's actually 2:30. It is so dark and rainy here today, so I figured that I would bring a little bit of spring to Florida on my face. Since it's not feeling very springy outside, we're gonna make it feel springy inside. I am super excited for today's video because it is in partnership with Target. Every time I say that, it still blows my mind. I don't think it'll get old to me. Like, somebody pinch me. Target, y'all. Target. So today's video, like I said, is going to be a spring look. With so many of us really not using a lot of makeup in the past year, I feel like we're kind of all getting back into the swing of it. So I'm going to do something fun, bright, monochromatic today. Something kind of like out of my comfort zone. I mean, you know I like a monochromatic look, but I feel like I haven't used color in so long. And since a lot of us weren't wearing makeup for an entire year, I feel like our skin has really kind of came through for us. So we are not going to cover up a lot today. I've been using this really nice tinted veil from Winky Lux, which you guys will see. All the products that I'm using today you can find at Target, and all of them are super affordable. So I'm just going to jump right in because you know me, I will sit here and chat with you and then we just will be in like dead silence while I'm doing my makeup. So first things first is I'm going to do a little prep on the face. So since this is a bright kind of glowy look, the first thing I'm gonna start with is an illuminating primer. This is the Bright Side Primer from Milani. I like it because it just adds a little bit of a glow to the skin. It's got a little bit of vitamin C in it, which you guys know that I'm obsessed with. I think vitamin C might be like my favorite kind of skincare thing to work onto my face, just because if you have any dark spots, which I kind of have one right here, he's living his life for now, but he'll be gone in a few days. Vitamin C really helps to combat any of that. I also really love this primer because it has like a nice little stick to it, which really helps to keep your makeup on a little bit longer. Next, I'm gonna do a little bit of a eye cream. This is from BYBI. I love all of BYBI's products. They have such a nice range. I've been loving this eye cream. I don't use an eye cream as much as I should, and that's bad. So I've been really trying to incorporate using one, especially before I do my makeup, because I feel like when this area is primed, my concealer sits a lot nicer in this area. And I've also stopped using powder on my skin. So by me prepping this area before I use concealer, I feel like it just stays smooth throughout the day. I just realized that I'm not even using a mirror. And then I'm just gonna let this sink into the skin. The primer is already set. Like, you could really move on if you weren't doing an eye cream right into your base. But I'm just gonna let this chill and sit for a second. I'm also gonna add, just for a little more hydration to the skin, a little bit of the BYBI Mega Mist. This is their hyaluronic face spray. It just really makes you plump and dewy. When I first started purchasing this, it used to come like in a smaller bottle, so it's nice to see that they've upgraded and you can get this larger size. Oh. It also has pomegranate in it, which you can kind of smell when you spray it on your face. It just feels really good. I'd be like, who doesn't like a face spray? Like I was saying in the beginning, like a lot of us haven't been really wearing makeup, so that's why I wanted to kind of ease into this one. It may be a little bright, but that's just because I wanted to do something springy. I don't want to do like a neutral look because I feel like that's all that I've been doing. But it is a very simple makeup look to kind of get us like back into the swing of things, nothing too overwhelming. But if color does kind of intimidate you, it's always fun to practice at home because in the end, if you don't like it, you can just wash it off, you know? So always experiment with different colors, kind of step out of your own box and see what works best for you. I feel like my skin has been doing pretty well just because, like I said, I haven't been wearing a lot of makeup and I drink a ton of water. I do have this kind of guy that's, you know, he's still there, but he's gone. He's there, but he's gone. And then we have like a freshie over here, and that's simply because I've just been wearing a mask a lot lately. So what I've been using on my skin lately is from Winky Lux, and this is their white tea tinted veil. The color that I'm using it is in medium deep tint. Now you're probably thinking medium deep, but this is a very sheer formula. It has an SPF of 30 in it, which I really love because it's like a 2-in-1. It doesn't provide a lot of coverage. It is very sheer, but it gives your face this like beautiful supple, silky, dewy look. It has white tea extract to help calm your skin, pomegranate extract, which is a natural antioxidant, and it also has vitamin E, which moisturizes and helps to strengthen your skin's natural barrier. So I personally like to apply it with my fingers. And then we're gonna go in and spot conceal in a second, just to cover any blemishes or anything that you feel like you might want a little more coverage on. You know, I've never blended it out with the brush. I've always used my fingers, but let me see. I feel like you might use more product with a brush, but you could definitely use a brush if you're somebody that just doesn't like to use your fingers when applying your makeup. So again, this is the Winky Lux White Tea Tinted Veil. I'm then gonna go in and do a little spot concealing, and I'm gonna use the full coverage concealer from Winky Lux. This is also in the shade medium. I'm just gonna put a little bit on the back of my hand here, and then use this smaller side of this brush just to kind of do a little spot concealing, and then tap over it. Get rid of these guys and tap over. I'm gonna do a little eyeshadow before we do our under eye concealer, and I'm gonna use the Winky Lux Fruity Kitten palette, which looks like this here. And like I said, we're gonna do a monochromatic look. So I'm gonna do this orange shade because there's like this really pretty orange cream blush that I want to use. So I was like, all right, orange it is. And I feel like a lot of people are comfortable with using the shade orange if you're not really used to like experimenting with color. So I'm just gonna take a fluffy brush, pick some of this guy up, and then I'm gonna start by packing this on my lid and working it up into my crease. And I'm using this like a fluffier brush just because I want it to be like a more wash of color than being super pigmented. So if you wanted it to be like super pigmented, you'd want to use a brush that was a little more dense and not so fluffy. So I'm gonna pack that on the lid and then start working it up into our crease. Hello, color. I don't appreciate the rainstorm outside. Okay, I guess I don't appreciate me not appreciating it. This is also like a nice matte orange shade too, which I'm like very into a matte eyeshadow. I'm using a little tiny swirling motions, and I'm keeping it, like I said, to my crease. We don't want to take it too high. These shadows are very pigmented, and there's not a lot of fallout, which I really like. So again, I'm just starting at my lash line, kind of packing that color on, and I'm pulling the brush toward my lid just to keep it away from the crease for right now. And then when I get to the crease, I kind of switch directions and kind of pull up towards the crease. Hello, orange. So easy. This is like my favorite way to wear any colorful eyeshadow, is just kind of a wash all over the lid. And this palette has like some really good colors. I was almost tempted, you guys, to use the green, but then I was like, I really want to do monochromatic. But I feel like my next look, I definitely want to dive into that green eyeshadow. And it's matte too, which makes me like love it even more. And the thing that I love about the Winky Lux packaging is it's cats. Cats. So then for concealer, I'm gonna use, again, the Winky Lux. This is the full coverage under eye concealer. I'm gonna use it this time in the shade light medium, and it has an applicator like this, like a squeeze applicator, so I like to apply it on the back of my hand and then use a brush to apply. So we're gonna add some here, here, and then on the outer edges. Like that. And then I'm just gonna let that chill. Let's put some here. I'm gonna let that chill for a second to kind of get a little dry so that we get a little more coverage out of it. I'm gonna switch brushes, and I'm gonna use something like this, just a little bit fluffier, to blend it out. So we're just gonna let that chill, and then we can do mascara. Don't let it sit too long, because you don't want it to dry in that spot. And the Winky Lux concealer, like I said, is full coverage, so you really don't need a ton. I could probably use less than what I put on. So I do like little swirling motions too when I do my under eye concealer, just to give it like a little bit of an airbrush effect. And I'm trying to take away as much product as I can, but still get the coverage that I want, because the less product that you have underneath your eyes, the less creasing will occur. And like I said, I really haven't set my under eye concealer in months. Like, I really don't remember the last time I put powder underneath my eyes. The only time I use powder underneath my eyes is if I'm doing like my powder foundation routine, and then I'll use the same powder foundation just in a lighter tone underneath my eyes, but it's really been a while. So that looks good, nice and bright. And I know some of y'all are like, what? You don't set your under eye concealer anymore? And I just feel like the older I get, I just really don't want to be putting a lot of powder on my face, because powder just kind of enhances lines. If I were to crease, I could just go like this throughout the day, and then I could just tap out the creasing underneath my eye. If I were to have powder underneath my eyes and crease, I really couldn't tap it out. It's locked and loaded. So if you're not really careful and make sure you've tapped out all your creases before you set, you're basically just setting your creases with the powder. So I really like this life of being free to tap out my under eye creases whenever they need be. So I think that looks good. Yes. All right, moving on to blush. We'll come back and do our mascara at the end. This is just how I like to work. This is also from Winky Lux, and it's this cute little cream blush in this beautiful rose shape. Very into cream blushes. This was the main inspiration for this look, was this cream blush. It's like almost like you don't want to touch it because it just looks so beautiful, but it's like, girl, I'm gonna need the color, so. And then I like to start like back here. So I'm just pushing it in, kind of getting the product on the face really, and then worrying about blending. Try not to get your hair in the mix. But I've also stopped using bronzer. Alrighty then. Every time I say bronzer, I don't know why I gotta burr it like that. I've stopped using bronzer on my cheeks. I mainly just use blush. So we're just gonna pack this on. I know that it'll feel like a little intense at first, but then I'll turn the brush where we weren't picking up product and then really start to blend. And then if you feel like it's not blending like you want, just go in with your fingers. And then if you need a little more, if it gets a little too high, this was the brush that we used to put our concealer on. It just had a little extra. I'll just go in like that. Right over our blush and kind of mesh the two together. I feel like cream just makes everything look fresh, super fresh. If you didn't have the orange eyeshadow and you only had this one blush product, you could use it for everything. You could put it on your lids, you could put it on your cheeks, you could put it on your lips. Really, really versatile if it's a cream product, which I really like. And then I always like to put a little blush here on my nose. I've also been very into not wearing lashes either. I just like a more simple routine, I feel like, nowadays. And that's why I've like skipped powder, skipped bronzer, and I feel like I just get through everything so fast. So for mascara, I'm gonna use the Honest Beauty one. This one has a lash primer on one side. I like how little and small it is, and then the mascara on the other. So because I have been skipping false lashes, I like this little lash primer. It really feels so late. Look outside. All right, and then we'll do the mascara side. Man, my lashes from this angle, I wish the camera was under here. So I will curl my lashes afterwards, because even though I feel like I've got pretty long lashes still, they like to do this. Hey. We like them to be like, hey, but they like to be like, hey. So I always curl them after I do mascara. So then for our lip, this is from Milani, and this is in the shade Crave. So when you put it on, you're like, oh my goodness, but it's like a jelly texture. So it's almost a little bit sheer, which I like. And I'm just using the edge to like ever so slightly go above my lip line. And kind of just tap this out a little bit. So it's like more of a light wash of color, like almost like a stain on the lip. And then I'm gonna use this Winky Lux gloss in the shade Juicy. We like that. We like that name. Juicy for sure. Curl these lashes one more time. Okay. And there we go. Boom. So here's the final look. I love how it turned out. I love how dewy and glowy we look. I really love the monochromatic. I love just the pop of color. It's just so nice to have color on. Like, I honestly don't remember the last time. As always, I will have all the products that I use listed in the bottom bar for you guys. Make sure you check out Target Beauty, and please leave me some of your favorite Target Beauty finds that you guys are obsessed with. I'm always there. I know you are too, looking around for new stuff. So that is it for me. Again, thank you to Target Beauty for partnering with me on this video, and I don't think I have anything else to tell you guys except I love you, and I will see you super soon in a new video. Bye guys.